Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to our weekly show. We call it Three Broke Guys Handicapping. It's where we review one of the top racing cars from around the United States. We will select a four-race sequence from that track and attempt to come to a consensus on a pick four ticket. Thank you for joining us. Week number 26 of the racing season finds us back in the land of speed. The summit of speed at Gulfstream Park in Hallandale Beach, Florida, has become one of the best racing days between the end of the Triple Crown Series and the beginning of the summer racing at Saratoga and Del Mar. The Pick 4 starts in race number 11. It ends in race 14. There are 3 stakes races in the Pick 4 on Saturday. My name is Rich Sharp, and each week I'll be joined by my friends and racing analysts. Our East Coast handicapper, Ray Torado. They are providing free parking and free admission for Saturday's card at Gulfstream. Any chance that'll be enough to entice you to make the trip from Staten Island, New York?
Oh, that's a cool one. Yeah, you're talking 20-hour drive. Well, actually, I was just there in May, so I mean, I didn't get a chance to go to the track, but I would love to go. But hey, listen, free parking, free everything. Give me a free airfare.
Yep. All right. And our West Coast handicapper, Joe English. In addition to free parking and free admission, they are giving away a 2018 Pegasus Cup hat with purchase of an official program at the South Program Stand from 12 to 4 p.m. today.
Oh, boy.
Can that get you from your beautiful home in Temecula, California to Florida in time for today's races?
I don't think a Gulfstream could get me in there in time for today's races. Post time is what? Probably about 12 Eastern, which would be about 3 hours from right now. So unless I've got a teleporter, no chance.
Okay, gentlemen, this day at Gulfstream, it's all about speed. Last week was all about heat here in Southern California, but this week is all about speed. These are the nitrous oxide fueled dragsters of our sport, if you like. They are front and center for an entire day of sprint racing. And with the sprinters featured today, I'd like you to share with us, Ray, who is your favorite sprinter of all?
Well, I tell you, I had a few. A horse called Groovy back in '87. He was very fast. He did a lot during the year. Couldn't win the British Cup Sprint because there's some fillies always go in front of him. But I have a new horse, Run Happy. 7 out of 10. I developed a little fondness for him. He won the British Cup Sprint. I was very happy. I made money on him, and he was very Saratoga, King's Bishop. So Run Happy, 7 for 10. He was very fast. I liked him. I wish he would have stayed in training longer, but.
Oh yeah, Mr. English, over to you. You got a favorite sprinter?
As usual, I go off the board. Do Michael Johnson or Usain Bolt count?
Wrong sport.
No, it's funny. I'm being that I've been out at Santa Anita and been in California for a long time. I've kind of grown accustomed to liking the horses that come down the hill and sprint down the hill at Santa Anita on that turf course. Like horses like Richard's Boy was pretty cool. The other horse I guess I would mention is a horse we've handicapped quite a few times and always seems to give a really good effort is Green Mask. He's been pretty cool. And Disco Partner just broke the world record running 6 furlongs and 105 and change.
Yeah.
On the turf at Belmont. So, I mean those are ridiculous horses. But like I said, I'm more fond. I've grown more fond of the horses that run well on the grass course than at Santa Anita.
All right. Last week was Santa Anita in Arcadia, speaking of Santa Anita, and we did not hit our pick 4 last week. So we are 0 for 3 so far in the second half of the year. Small consolation. We went 3 out of 4 last week. So time for a brief weather update from Hallandale Beach, Florida. The forecast for Saturday calls for, mostly cloudy skies early that will become partly cloudy later in the day. It's a high of 87 degrees. Winds are 10 to 15 miles an hour, and there is a very, very slight 10% chance of rain. There's always a 10% chance of rain in Florida. A total of 14 races, 7 stakes on tap for Saturday, and 2 are Breeders' Cup win and you're in races. For today, we are focused on the pick 4, beginning in race number 11 and concluding in race number 14. Gentlemen, the gates are locked and loaded, the outriders are clear, and the starter is ready to pop the gate. It's pick 4 post time.
Let's go.
Approximate post time is 5:02 p.m. Eastern time. I do not have a guarantee if there's a guarantee in this pick 4 today. Race number 11, 7 furlongs on the main track. It's the Carryback Stakes. Grade 3, the purse is $150,000 for 3-year-olds only. 11 starters, and your morning line favorite at 3-1 is in post number 3. 3 rules, trained by Jose Pinchin and ridden by Cornelio Velasquez. In 1961, Kerryback won the Florida Derby, the Kentucky Derby, and the Preakness Stakes. I will share with you that since I was asked for our analysis who their favorite sprinter was, that one of my favorites, Lost in the Fog, actually won this particular race back in 2005. So, Joe, you are up in the opener. Who do you like in the Kerryback Stakes?
Well, I think I've got a theme going today, and it's one of those things that the card just plays out the way it is. And in a couple of the races, actually, it's not really a complete theme, but in a couple of races, I'm trying to beat the favorites, and I'm kind of against 3 rules today. I thought I expected more. I got a chance to watch the race that he ran at Pimlico in the Chick Lang, and I thought he should have run better than he did. Again, at foreign surface, I understand he's 5 of 8 at Gulfstream. He's 1 for 2 at the distance. Cornelio Velasquez gets back on, but I'm going to go to a different horse who's returning to the scene of the crime. I'm going to the 10 as my top pick, Classic Rock. Not just because I like the music. The speed plays very favorably over at Gulfstream's Park surface, even at 7 furlongs. And I'm sure that Rich will pull up the last page that shows us at some point how well speed does in races even at 7 furlongs at Gulfstream Park. This horse ran in the Woody Stevens last time out, obviously up against American Anthem, and the pace was obviously very quick. This is the old Matt Carruthers speed and fade versus better. He drew an inside post that day, and he got beat soundly 33 lengths. But when you're beat at that point, I mean, when you're 9th by 18 at the top of the stretch, I don't think your jock's really going to persevere anyway. And he was 20-1 that day. I think today's a much more reasonable spot. He's 3 for 4 at Gulfstream at the distance. I'm sorry, and 3 of those wins, all 3 of his lifetime wins have been at Gulfstream. Broke his maiden, winning the non-winners allowance, and then winning a restricted stake. I just think he's primed for a big effort in that Gulfstream Park work on the 24th. 4 furlongs and 45 and 2 breezing. That's humping, my friends. If you think you talk about nitro, that's pretty good. I mean, look at and the work before it wasn't bad at Belmont either. 46 and 3 over Big Sandy. So I think this horse is going to go to the lead today. I don't think he necessarily needs to be on the lead. Obviously, he's shown that he can win from a little bit off the pace, but I think he's going to be close up anyway, regardless. And I think I prefer him at double the odds of 3 rules. And you may get all of that 6-1 today because of the presence of 3 rules. I think 3 rules is going to take money. And the other horse I like is going to take a little money too, and that's the 4 Mo Cash for Ron Spatz, who's never really used Robbie Alvarado, at least not to my knowledge. But at least, Formulator shows that, dirt sprinters between 35 and 42 days off, including Mo Cash. He's 3 for 10. And he's got a positive ROI. And this horse is getting better. The horse's speed figures have improved, at least on the Beyer scale and obviously on the Brisnet scale every time out. I kind of wonder why. I mean, I guess Tyler Gaffalione is elsewhere in this race. I was actually he's on the other Pletcher, Blind Ambition, who's also a contender in the spot. And obviously he's I have stats that show he's done well with Pletcher, which I'll get to later. So I can understand why he would want to stay with Pletcher, because when you get into that barn, you definitely want to be able to stay. And heck, if you're riding Pletcher's second and third stringers, that's usually pretty good horse flesh anyway. But Mo Cash has improved in every start, and maybe this is the day for him to step up. He's been working well. Quixote is running in the Smile Sprint Stakes, so if Mo Cash happens to run well, that may actually benefit. Or actually, it may shine a light on Quixote maybe in a later race. Like I said, he's running in the Smile Sprint in race 13. But again, he's going to be. I think this horse is going to be close to the pace. If for whatever reason there is a pace meltdown, or he can actually sustain that early pace and close a little ground. At 9-2, I'm willing to take that chance. So my top 2 choices in the race are the 10 Classic Rock for Luca Panici, who gets back aboard today, and he's 2 for 2. With Kathy Ritvo on Classic Rock. And my second choice is Mo Cash, the 4 at 9-2 on the morning line. So it's not only is it that I like those horses, it's also a play against 3 rules today. Again, I just think maybe he's not going to be 100% today, or maybe just the fact that he didn't run as well at Pimlico suggests that he's not quite the same horse that he was before he started the Triple Crown. I mean, we'll see later today. But 10-4 for me in the carryback. Ray, what is your opinion of this race, and what did you think of Three Rules in this spot?
I agree with you. I have Three Rules way on the bottom of my list here. Well, I mean, like fourth pick, but yeah, I do like your horse, Joe. Mo Cash, number 4. Um, he's improving. Lots of speed in this race. He could probably sit off the swift pace here. The only thing is that he stepped up to open company. Could be a little challenge for him. Second race off a layoff. His figures are improving, like you mentioned. And he is 2 for 3 at Gulfstream with second, so he likes the track. So we'll take a shot with him. Alberado's on board. I do like number 6, the Pletcher horse, Blind Ambition, Charlie Gaffioni. He's the winner of his last 2. 7 furlongs, 7.5 furlongs, 1 on the turf, 1 on dirt. Pretty impressively, he just opened up and beat them to a pulp. And he's another one moving up in class, so this is another challenge for him. But he's out of tepid, and could develop later this year. He's maybe starting to develop. Pay $400,000 for him, so he's looking to make some money back for him. And he looks like a good horse, down the road. So Gaffioni is, I believe, the lead rider of the track. So he's, yeah, like you say, if you get to Puncher's Barn, stay there. They're like 44%, like you can see last 60 days. So. I go for him too. Another horse I'll mention later on in my show, and the pick 4. But I do want to mention Three Rules also. Home Sweet Home, 5 Faded Gulfstream. Loves the track. He's gonna have lots of company here. So the pressure that he faces here might, and he doesn't seem to be developing as much as a 3-year-old as we had hoped to. And the Triple Crown does take away from you. You go longer. He went a mile 16, mile on 8, and he has to step back and take a little breather. And probably the chick language a little, coming back race for him, and he probably just has a few more to do, a few more to go before he can get back into form, because that does take a toll on you. Those races, trying to get to the Triple Crown. So, but if Velasquez keeps the mount, then they're formidable. On his best day, he wins easily, but he's I feel like me and you, Joe, say that he's a little suspect today, and let's see how he runs. So for me right now, it'd be 4, 6, and the bottom line would do the 3. All right, Rich, what do you think about the carryback?
I don't think I have anything to add that I haven't heard already. My top pick for the carryback actually is Classic Rock. So that's Kathy Bitvo and Luca Panici. I would love to see Luis Saez back for the ride today. But other than that, if you go back to our show, we were handicapping on Belmont Day, and the Woody Stevens was on that day and things like that. I actually liked Classic Rock against American Anthem, foolishly enough, that day. So I think I bet him. A solid horse, had won 3 in a row coming into that race. Kathy Bitvo is a very solid trainer, and Luca Panici's good on the speed types. So that was where my check mark ended up. Kind of like what you heard from Ray. I wanted to toss the favorite. I wanted to get around to toss the favorite. I actually have the 3 in there. But I like the 4. I like Mo Cash, who I heard in there. I like the 6. And as a matter of fact, I even like the 11 because I didn't like the idea of splitting my Todd Pletchers in this race. So I had like 10 on my top line. And then on my bottom line, I've got 3, 4, 6, 11. I've got my single coming later. So Joe gave us the 10 on the top. He actually has the 4 on the top as well. And I believe Ray has the 4 on top and the 6 on top. And he's got the 3 underneath. And I will come on back to you guys, and we will move along to our next race here. Good morning, everybody. All right, and it is on to race number 12. This is 7 furlongs on the main track. It's the Princess Rooney Stakes, presented by Hardacre Farm. A Grade 2, purse is $250,000. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward. 11 starters, and your morning line favorite is in post number 8. It's Lightstream, trained by Brian Lynch and ridden by Javier Castellano. 7-2 on the Gulfstream morning line. This is a 4-way rematch between Dearest, Wheatfield, Curlin's Approval, and Destina from last winter's Inside Information. So, Ray, who is the fastest girl in Florida?
Well, the one on the beach I was chasing the other day. I couldn't catch her. I did lean high here on Curlin's Approval here. This is another one that does well at the Gulfstream. She's 5 for 8. middle distance runner for 6 furlongs to mile and 16th. She has a good post, and she could stalk and pounce like top of stretch. Hit the guns right there, and Louis Saez had a great meet there. He has 100 wins, and he's riding well. Second race off the layoff, so maybe she needs the first race back, and she could be improving. 4-year-old campaign, and we move forward from here. I do like number 8, Livestream with Castellano. She almost caught By the Moon in the Bed of Roses on Belmont Day. So By the Moon was rolling, and here comes Livestream just to miss, and it was a good race. And if she could hold that form, she'll be tough here. She 3/4 of the length of way from winning the test at Saratoga, which is a very key 3-year-old race for 3-year-old sprinters. And she seems to have found her optimal distance, 7 furlongs. She runs well, she closes. And Castellano and Lynch are 3 of the last 10, 30%, so they're riding well. And the pace should be hot here, so I think she'll get up and run well down the stretch. I do like number 3, Dearest. This horse has tremendous speed. He's the one to catch, I believe. She's 5 for 8 lifetime, 4 for 6 at Gulfstream Park, and lots of layoff lines. So this horse could be good if she stayed in training. One race here break and then a one race break. So he might have some physical issues with her. Yeah, I'm not really sure. But the local connections here, Jaramillo and Gilberto Zerpa, they're 5 for the last 10, so they're on a good page and rolling along. And Zerpa's actually 25% sprint, so that's 1 out of 4. So those would be my horses there. But beat the 7, the 8, and the 3 in the Princess Rooney. All right, Joe, we got to add anything here?
Yeah, I love the fact that we can have differing opinions, and I'm going to disagree with something my colleague just said. I actually had handicapped way back in the day. Actually, not handicapped. I reviewed the inside information, the race, as we were working our way towards Kentucky Derby and the Triple Crown Series. That was one of the days that I was, I handicapped, and I did a video review on. And I looked at that race, and I don't agree. Well, Dearest, I think Dearest is my top choice. Let's just put it that way. And I don't agree that there's going to be a lot of pace in this race. A lot of the horses in this race, horses like Distinto, horses like Livestream, they come from the back. And Dearest to me is, I don't know. I'm not sure she's going to be lone speed, but she's pretty darn close. Her speed figures are higher than everybody else's in the spot. And she got tagged on the wire last time, and she had 3.5 length lead at the top of the lane. And I think the pace caught up with her. Obviously, if you look at the DRFPPs, the race shape was fast early, average, middle, slow, late, which is generally what happens in these sprints. But I don't see as much speed in the spot as Ray might. So I think Dearest, if Dearest runs that same race, or at least gets that same trip and is not, isn't 45 and change and 110. If she gets away with a little bit of a softer pace, and which she might in this spot, because I don't think she's going to be pressed as nearly as much as she was in that spot last time, I think she's gone. I think she wins this in this spot. And the other thing about it is that I was looking at it, and I guess I'm changing as a handicapper, still evolving. And I've come around to looking at weight and weight, not necessarily weight, but weight shifts. Because if you listen to the Thorograph and the Sheets people, they say 5 pounds is worth 1 point on the sheets, or 1 point in their performance figures. And in this spot, last time, Distinto was getting 6 pounds from Dearest, and Wheatfield was getting 2 pounds. Today, Distinto is giving Dearest 4 pounds. That is a 10-pound weight shift over a 2-month period. So basically that would be 2 points on Thorograph figures. Now, I don't have the figures for this spot, but Dearest is 4 for 6 at Gulfstream, 2 for 3 at the distance. She's won graded stakes at Gulfstream before. She finished second in the Prioress at Saratoga last fall. And I'm not worried about the lines in between. Obviously they know that this filly needs time in between races. She's got a nice 59 breeze over at Calder. You can see she's worked 3 bullets over at Calder, June 10th, June 17th, June 24th. So I don't think her form's dulled at all. I think she's the top choice in here because of the pace scenario. I think she's in front home, and I think she might be gone. If somehow somebody does catch her, my other choice is as the favorite, and it's for the reasons that Ray mentioned, being that Lightstream almost caught by the moon, and that pace that day was a lot slower. And if the pace scenario that Ray envisions does develop, I think Lightstream's the best horse. I think she's the best closer in this spot. And again, I'm putting a lot of credence into the weight shift, and we'll see. Also, Johnny V was on Distinta last time, and Edgar Zayas, who is not a bad rider, but he's no Johnny V. He's not the I'm assuming not the what's the word? I guess he's not he's not going to be a better judge of pace than John Velasquez. But again, he gets back aboard. He knows the filly. He knows the mare. But again, I think Lightstream is doing better. I think she's coming up to a good race, and I think if the pace scenario plays out like Ray said, I think the 8's the winner. So I just went too deep here. Dearest on top at 4-1, and Lightstream as my second choice at 7-2 on the morning line. So that was it for me. 3-8 in that order. Rich, what did you? I see your pick is Curlin's approval. So obviously you're using my forgiveness angle from earlier this year.
Yeah, and I'm not so sure about that one though. This one's giving me some heartache as far as the forgiveness angle. So I was kind of at the same point that you were, Joe. I was looking for the quickest horse in the race. So I was looking for someone that had the speed, and I thought that maybe it was Curlin's approval. And again, using the forgiveness angle, actually, technically forgiving those last two, the inside information and the matron as well. Looking for Curlin's approval to go ahead and reverse it. I backed it up with Lightstream. So everything that Ray said, I kind of have picked up on. 5 for 8 at Gulfstream for Curlin's approval, 2 for 5 at this distance. You guys already heard me. I am a big Luis Saez fan, and he's on a speed horse. He's on a horse that's going to be at least close to the lead. They'll probably be battling with Dearest for the lead. And so I went this direction. Wilson, Saez on Curlin's approval, and I backed it up with Lightstream, kind of from what you heard from Ray and Joe. I do this every once in a while. I'll take one from the front, one from the back. So this is the one that's from the back, and it's Lightstream. So I've got 7-8. Joe has 3-8. And Ray has 3-7-8. So not often you see that kind of consensus from us. All right. Come on back, and we will move on into the future. It's going to be the Smile Stakes, I think. All right, and we are moving on to race number 13. This is 6 furlongs on the main track. It is the Smile Sprint Stakes. Grade 3, purse is $250,000, 3-year-olds and upward. 8 starters, and your morning line favorite is in post number 2, Imperial Hint, trained by Luis Carvajal Jr. and ridden by Javier Castellano, comes in as your 9-5 morning line favorite. Win this race, and you are into the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Book your passage to Del Mar. Joe, who are we most likely to see come out of this race come November?
Well, unfortunately, I went chalk-eating weasel here. I think Imperial Hint is the fastest horse fastest on figures, fastest on pace. The fact that Javier Castellano gets back on, that's not a bad thing. I just don't see any negatives here. He would probably be as close to a single on this card. Like I said, I do like Dearest quite a bit too. And I was tempted to go deeper in legs 1 and 4 and single in the 2 middle legs. Imperial Hint just to me has it all. I think 3 for 5 at the distance. He's like I said, it seems as if he's improving. A nice blowout at Parks a few days ago, 35-2. Again, another one who's been working bullets at Parks before this. So obviously Parks is the home base for Carvajal. And shipping in like 6 for 10 lifetimes, won 300,000. It's kind of tough to go against. He hasn't necessarily run the freshest off layoffs, at least at times. Obviously, I'm going back to the race at Penn National. I'm not sure if Penn National, maybe there was just something different about that day. It seems as if he's, based on what I'm seeing in the DRF, he's been running races. They give that closer designation for a lot of the races that he's been running in. So from what they're saying, he's been up against it because he's generally a speed horse. And like I said, I think he's going to be in front. And I think he's probably the most, he is the most likely winner. But I don't know that I could single. And if I didn't single, the horse I would include is the horse just to his outside, and that's the 3. Awesome Banner, 6 for 11 at Gulfstream. Not the biggest fan of the distance, obviously, but I think I'm willing to forget the Carter, just like I'm willing to forget the Woody Stevens with Classic Rock earlier. The Maryland Sprint was a lot better. Obviously, Whitmore and AP Indian are on a little bit different level sprinting. I mean, and it's sad to see that AP Indian's going to miss some time. At least I saw that. I thought I saw that on the DRF or on Twitter this weekend. But Whitmore is on quite a roll, 4 wins in a row. There's no embarrassment in finishing behind him. This is, like I said, Awesome Banner's been here before, won at Gulfstream before, 6 of 11. So I just think he's the horse for me. If somebody's going to beat Imperial Hint, he's the one. But it's interesting that Castellano was on Awesome Banner last time, and now he shows up on Imperial Hint this time. Again, this is something stakes engagements generally could be planned way in advance, and maybe this is just a last-minute pickup ride, knowing that Castellano was going to be down here for other horses. But maybe this is the reason Castellano's down here. We don't know, and we'll never know. Maybe we'll know later today if he happens to run, continue to improve on those speed figures, running, 100s and 105. Last one was a 105 buyer in the General George. So to me, it's a pretty simple spot. 2, 3. Imperial Hint, like I said, probably the closest thing to a single on this card for me. But Awesome Banner would be somebody I probably would want to include as a saver just in case something goes wrong with Imperial Hint, or somebody decides to go kamikaze on the lead with Imperial Hint and hurt his chances down the lane. So 2, 3 for me, right?
Ditto. Actually, yeah, I agree.
That makes for a fast show. Good.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I was thinking Imperial Hint, and I saw that that in Penn National race and a few other races that somebody just went out there and took the lead for him, and he wasn't the same. So if somebody does that, and he looks like to be a need for lead horse, so I actually backed him up too, Awesome Banner, and I mean I think Imperial Hint, is a good horse. He was my single, but now I'm gonna back up with Awesome Banner. But he is 3 for 5 at 6 furlongs, 6 for 10 lifetime. Winner of 3 straight. He's on the roll, and give him a little time off to get to refresh his legs. But he's working bullets, and Cashon can control the pace, and reserve the rail spot, and he could be home. I can see him 3 or 4 in front, top of the stretch, and gone. That's how Cashon rides, and he's a great jockey. So I go with the 2. Austin Banner, no shame here. He loves Gulfstream Park, 6 for 11. He had a good pinnacle race. Yeah, like you said, Whitmore is on a roll. He found his home sprinting, I tell you, and he's gonna be tough down the road, especially in the Breeders' Cup. And he had a good race. His eyes hops up aboard, and good works out at low. Bullets, 47. So he's still in form. So I think it's a 2-horse race. Quixote is formidable, but he might have a little bit up against him. I mean, if really the pace really collapses, he might be coming down the stretch. So look out for him. But for me, I'll go 2 and 3 in this race. Rich, smile, sprint.
Yeah. No, and considering the implications of this race and things like that, it might be an interesting thing for Javier Castellano coming down the line. Luis Carvajal Jr. not being one of the more well-known trainers, I would say, around the country and like that. He's more of an East Coast guy and things like that. And the fact of the matter is I believe from my introduction, I do think that this is the horse that the 3 broke guys are going to see. This is the one that's going to win this race, and he's going to be at the Breeders' Cup at Del Mar. It'll be interesting to see if Javier Castellano has a Todd Pletcher mount or a Brian Lynch mount or something else. As far as the sprint is concerned, that he might opt over. But I singled here. I was looking to limit my ticket and things like that. I've been talking about this for a few weeks, so I'm looking for singles now to give myself some more options, and I need some more options in the next race that's coming up here. So I singled on the 2. I went with Imperial Hint. Javier Castellano. I do not know a whole lot about Luis Carvajal. He does not appear to do very well when he is 90 days away. He's 0 for 13, so I wasn't real crazy about to see that. But this is the fastest horse in the race. This day is about speed. We saw him in the General George, so we handicapped that Laurel Day, and he looked very impressive in putting away a couple of good sprinters. Stall Walking Dude was in that race, and he had no problem. So I just went with the fastest horse. And again, I have no argument with what Joe and Ray said about Awesome Banner. I like Quixote as well, who, again, there's Luis Saez. So there's some other horses in here who are very talented and things like that. But to try and limit my ticket to give me some more coverage in this next race that's coming up, I did single just with the 2. Joe has the 2 and the 3, and Ray has the 2 and the 3. Let me come on back to you guys, and we will head on into what is what I found to be a very difficult finale.
Yeah, Rich, maybe Javier Castellano can get on one of Baffert's sprinters now that he's got Masochistic as well.
Oh, wow. I didn't even see that. Did Masochistic move out of Ron Ellis's barn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
See my tweets from yesterday.
Once again, traveling for my job this week, I wasn't able to catch up on him. So and again, a new cell phone, which is not working the way I like it to. Yeah. So
he wants a relay race.
And the thing about it is, Rich and I have met Ron Ellis on a couple of occasions, and I feel bad for the guy. He was a really nice guy. He was very talkative with us. He was very honest with us about Masochistic and about his chances that day, and I feel bad for Ron Ellis. That's really that's a kick in the gut. That was his big horse in the barn, and now he's gone. So
because he don't get no compensation for that, right? You just lose him. Yeah. Nope. Only the owner. Yeah, that's tough.
The only thing he has now is an empty stall.
Oh man.
Yeah. No, as a result of that personal connection, I can tell you that Ron Ellis is one of my favorite trainers.
Yeah.
Period around the country. So. All right. We're going to move on here. We are moving on to race number 14, and we are going 7.5 furlongs on the grass, back on the turf here. It is a very interesting race. This is a claiming race, $100,000. The purse is $26,000. It includes $1,000 from the Florida Owners Award. It's for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races, or 3-year-olds only. Gulfstream. 16 starters, and your morning line 16 starters, you guys. 16 starters.
No, it's 4 AEs, so they're only going to run 12.
They're going to run 12. Okay, so there's 12, all right. And your morning line favorite is going to start from post number 12. That's Weeza Gone Gray, trained by Javier Negrete and ridden by Ariosto Delgado. 3-1 on the morning line. Ray, who do you like in the finale? Help your buddy out.
What page is he on? I tell you. Well, you know what? I see this race. I saw some horses here, and it says non-winners of 3 races, right? So when I see, 2 for 52, 2 for 56, I just tossed them. You win, good luck for you. But I did find a few horses here. I do like number 6, Big Money Machine, and I hope that is a good name for us. Big Money Machine can give us some money. Just ring the bell, ding ding. He's non-winners of 3, but he's got 2 wins at the distance. So if that's the condition, then he satisfied the condition because he got 2 wins at this distance. So it's good. That gives him a good shot here. And he's been making middle moves at longer races. So around that 7 furlong mark, he's been moving. So I think he have a good shot here. This may be a perfect distance for him. It picks up Edward Zayas, who's a great jockey there, home base. So I go Big Money Machine, number 6. I do like number 11, Arid Dios. I like that. Huh? That's a good name. And this condition also, he's 2 for 7. He's got 2 wins, and he got to be considered strong too. Both wins at the distance also, and on the turf, 2 for 4, 2 for 2 also on the turf, and he's undefeated. He also gets a good jockey too, Jaramillo, who's good on the turf, 13%, and Ralph Ziziati. He's a good trainer down there, and he'll be close to the lead. He's dropping a little bit off the win, so that's a plus here. I'm gonna go for a little long shot here, number 4, Whites of Their Eyes. He was no threat 2 races for already in this condition. But he switches to Jesus Rijos, who did get him a win and a 3rd in this condition. So he might know the horse. He might do a little better here. He's a long shot, so I'm taking a shot. And he might just come off the pace and break the whole bankroll. So I'm gonna go for him number 4. That I would go longer. I'm gonna look into this race a little long, later on, and maybe find a few more horses because this race is wide open. So, but for now, I'll go with the 6, 11, and the 4. Joe, you have a lot of good choices here. This race.
Well, okay, I'll agree. We have a lot of choices. I'm not necessarily going to say they're good ones. And to be honest, Ray, don't look. This will be like a solar. This will be like the solar eclipse. Don't look at the sun too long because your eyes will fry. You will see the whites of your eyes. They will just pop out of your head. Because believe me, after looking at the first 3 races, I looked at this race. Unfortunately, I looked at it for a long time. And I was searching and searching and searching.
It's tough.
What I will do is, what I did come up with is, I decided, and I was like, well, I looked at there looks to me like there's a lot of speed in this spot. Cuban Cowboy is a horse who's coming out of dirt sprints. My guess is he's going to the lead. There might be 1 or 2 others inside of the horses on the outside posts. And to me, this race might actually be won at scratch time, or this race might be altered at scratch time. Because if you look, I mean, I was looking at the PP statistics for Gulfstream Park and the Formulator Stats has, a pretty quick link to just look at it. And I was looking, okay, for turf races at greater than 7.5 furlongs, greater than or equal to 7.5 furlongs. Post 11, where Ariados is Aradios, or whatever the horse's name is.
I can't even pronounce it.
He's 7-2 on the morning line. Post 11 is 0 for 19. Well, and of course, and the morning line favorite, Weeza Gone Gray, who always seems to be on the lead and always seems to get caught. Post 12 is 0 for 10. So now you're talking the 2 outside posts are 0 for 29. There's the horses that have Ariados looks like he's a horse who, in his 2 races, he's been on the lead. The 2 races that he's won, he's been on the lead. Weeza Gone Gray is a lead type horse. There are horses inside of that horse who are going to go to the front. And if you look at the diagram for the track, the start for the 7.5 furlongs is basically right on the turn. So the 11 and the 12, if they're going, they're going to gun, and they may not they may not have a choice but to be stuck wide. I'm not taking short prices on speed horses who could get cooked, or might be 3 or 4 wide around that first turn in a race like this. There is no way. So I'm going against the 2 favorites here. Unfortunately, I had to go Keno like Ray did. Like Ray usually does. I couldn't find anything that really stuck out. The horse that I guess I like the most is the 3. I made a conscious decision to bet conscious decision here. It was more a conscious decision to bet against the 2 outside horses. Again, the horse ran a decent race last time out. Again, nothing to write home about the horse. The horse has some back class. If you look back in the PPs that you may or may not, you don't see them here. But the Formulator PPs, I have them up on my other screen. The horse has actually has won 2 races on the Woodbine turf, broke his maiden, and won a non-winner to 2 lifetime race with buyer speed figures that are above par for this level. Again, we're talking now back almost a year ago, but again, you're fishing for long shots. The horse is 15-1 on the morning line, and this is more, like I said, for me, it's an anti-favorites race. I can go, like I said, on my personal pick 4 ticket, I went 6 deep without using either the 11 or the 12. Now, again, I want to caution everybody out there, if you're watching, check for scratches, because if let's just argumentatively say the 1, 2, 3, and 4 scratch, and the also eligibles all draw in, that means the 2 speed horses are in post 7 and 8 now, as opposed to post 11 and 12. So that changes the dynamic of the race drastically, and what the horses can or can't or may not be able to do. So check at scratch time. So I'll just give you 1 horse for now. I'll just give you conscious decision. We'll talk more in our pick 4 segment about the other horses in this race, but I'm just going to go with the 3 for the show. This is more an anti-favorites race because of the way I think the race is going to play out. So I will hand it off to Rich, giving you not much more than I don't really know what the hell is going to happen in this spot.
Yeah, and as you've seen the last few weeks, I've been loading up for these last races and like that. This is really a good spot for that all button.
Yeah,
and
No
exactly,
doubt.
exactly for the reasons that you've heard Ray and Joe document. As you saw there, you guys have seen it by now. The check mark is on the 11, and as I was thinking about it, I started thinking back to the Pegasus World Cup to this year and California Chrome, and Joe hit the nail right on the head. The mile and the 16th race and the turf race, the 7.5 first, they start at the exact same spot, and that was the spot that Chrome could not. Nobody could have won from that spot. And I don't know who Aria Dios is. As I said, I can't even pronounce his name.
No, you got close. It looks like Arredios or something.
Arredios.
That's pretty good.
And Weeza Gone Gray are speed horses marooned in that outside pose. So I would not. And the other horse that I was going to give you here is actually on here as well. His name is Vigas. All three of them are speed horses that are marooned in those outside posts. So if I had to give you just one, I have the 11, but you know what? I'll hedge on that, and I'll go back to Ray's pick, and I'll use the 6, who's got at least a little bit of a better post position. It's big money machine. The 7.5 furlong turf race does actually play fairly fair. If you look at the numbers at the back, you get about 50-50 from the front or the back. So I'll go ahead and give you the 6 just for the fun of it. But everybody should know that I'm trying to load up to pick the all button. I want to use the AL button here in this final race because, and that's where Imperial Hint came in. So
I might sing Imperial Hint to go all, see how much that costs. Yeah, I'm telling you.
All right. So you got Rich.
If you got 12 starters, it's
You got. All right, so you got me wimping out there with the all button. Joe is a little bit more courageous here in the finale. He's got the 3 for you, and then Ray gave you the 6, the 11, and the 4. And I will go ahead and come on back. We'll move on to our next segment here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I will go ahead and compile our Pick 4 segment. But while I am doing that, each week Ray and Joe are nice enough to go ahead and share with you their individual Pick 4 tickets. And I've got those documented here for you. So I'll go ahead and bring that up. And they are going to go ahead and take you into their individual Pick 4 tickets. And Joe, this week you are going to get to go first.
Okay, well, I'll be self-deprecating, Rich, and I'll be like, I don't know how nice we've really been to give people our pick fours the way we've been playing them, but it is what it is. So, okay, I went with like I said, I like classic rock in carryback, and I like Mo Cash a little bit. And the other horse I want to mention is the 11, and Ray mentioned Benefactor, Pletcher, Castellano. And you're getting 8-1. I don't really know how you can argue with a $425,000 yearling purchase with those connections getting 8-1. So just like Rich said something about not splitting Pletchers, I'd rather have Pletcher at 8-1 with a horse who's got some ability with an outside draw than somebody else, especially like 3 rules today. Like I said, this race to me is more an anti-3 rules race. If he wins, I would be out in my personal pick 4. I'm not including him anywhere. I think he's gonna have to beat me, and if he does beat me, he'll be a short number probably, based on his reputation at Gulfstream Park. Anyway, 3-8 in leg 2, which was the it's not the carryback. I'm sorry, I'm losing the name of the race now. It's the Princess Rooney.
Princess Rooney. There you go.
And Princess Rooney is one of those win and you're in races, and like I said, I think Dearest is going to be on the lead. I think Dearest is going to be in front, and if she's got a 3.5 length lead with a little bit slower pace, with the bunch of closers that are going to be behind her this time, I think she's going to win. I like Lightstream as the best possible candidate to run down Dearest, like both Wheatfield and Distinta did last time. But again, I'm the weight shift is pretty drastic to me. I think Dearest is going to get home here. In the Smile, also winning you're in. Keep it simple with Imperial Hint and Awesome Banner, 2 horses that really like Gulfstream, and horses that figure to be, if Imperial Hint should be on the lead, and Awesome Banner should be able to sit right off of Imperial Hint, and if he's good enough, beat him. In the finale, like I said, I went with the 3 Conscious Decision as my quote unquote top pick. I'll use air quotes, which obviously most of you can't see. But I like Whites of Their Eyes has a little bit of back class. The horse has been running good buyer speed figures in the low 70s, which is basically par for this level. And he's also 15-1 on the morning line. The 5, Mad Patriot, I can even see. Okay, the horse ran a 70 buyer speed figure a while back. Looks like the horse is running into a little bit better form. 3rd time with the barn. Maybe today's the day for Mad Patriot, who's also 20-1. So basically, like Rich says, I'm kind of going all button. I do like Big Money Machine a little bit, and I did notice the mid-race move last time. Crichton's horses are running pretty well. Again, it's kind of hard to get really enthusiastic about either non-winners or 3 lifetime, especially when, like Ray was saying, 2 for 52s and 2 for 56s in this spot. I also ended up on the 7 a little bit, Bourbon City. He's another horse who's got a little bit more speed. He's going dirt to turf. I think turf is maybe his better surface. His speed figures on turf a little bit better than his speed figures on dirt. He ran a 68 buyer a couple 3 starts ago with Lionel Reyes. Again, I think there's enough speed. I think he may be one of the horses on the lead. Again, not thrilled about picking a barn who's 1 for 30 at 3%. But again, you're talking 10 to 1, and you're trying to get horses home that you're trying to beat favorites. The other horse I'll mention is the 10, Mombocello, who ran 3rd in the race that Conscious Decision ran 4th last time out. There was a clump of horses that finished 2nd, 3rd, and 4th that day. Again, little bit. He had 1 buyer speed figure in the 70s, not really anything to write home about. But he ran 3rd at 80 to 1 last time out. And maybe that's a signal that he's coming into a little bit better race. And again, you're taking 20 to 1. None of these long shots are going to look like Imperial Hint. That's why they're 20 to 1 and 15 to 1 and 30 to 1. And I even actually could have gone deeper in this spot. And like Rich said, if you can use the all button, don't even waste your time handicapping this race. Figure out who's going to win the other heats and take the all button. And then hope one of those 2 for 59 shots has their day. So $36 investment for me, bigger than I usually do. 10 for 11 with 3, 8, with 2 and 3 with the Keno numbers you see on the screen. 3, 4, 6, 7, and 10. So $36 for me in this. Fortunately, it's not a Santa Anita pick 4. Maybe I should use those numbers in the Santa Anita pick 4. Maybe I'll get lucky.
Play them again.
Yeah, just play them at every pick 4 at every track across the country.
Every track, that's it, yeah.
Maybe you'll get lucky and win one, and maybe one will pay 5 figures. Who knows? Okay, so $36 for me, right?
We'll call it the Mega Pick 4. Power Pick 4. Powerball Pick 4.
Mega Millions, whatever you
all
want.
over the country.
Whatever.
Yeah, you're right. I think I would say a few horses there. 4, 6, Mo Cash and Blind Urchin. I did include the 11 Benefactor. Just broke his maiden, so he's back in the second to minor stake on a track, so he couldn't prove the race off his cycle. Post doesn't help him, but Cash Lounge has to choose who he's gonna follow. So he has the big danger of losing ground here, but he has 3/8 of miles to get in position. So the sprint usually you have a long without backstretch, so he should be okay. Yeah, I was leaning towards also tossing 3 rules, also maybe adding more horses in the last leg, and maybe singling the 2 also. But we'll get to that. Curlin's approval, my top horse there. I think he might run. I do like Dearest also, so if she went to, would still be in good shape. And Lightstream, of course, Castellano, they're a good favorite there. The third leg, the smile spin, will keep it simple. Imperial Hint. Also banned as a backup. We have a budget here, so we have to keep it low. But I might consider taking out Awesome Banner and just wheeling the last leg and just saying, call it a day, and hopefully we could get a big long shot there. But for now, I have the 6, the 11, the 4. I do like the 7 a little bit. I could throw them in later on. But for these purposes, you have the 6, 11, and 4. And my ticket's $36, and I might play another pick 4 also. Some different combinations like singling the middle legs. Actually, the leg 3, and then going shorter leg 1 and deeper in leg 4. So that's my plan for today. Okay, Rich. I see your ticket there is very cozy.
Yeah. Anybody,
I like
anybody
that one.
ever,
I like that one.
everybody ever asks, the Rich doesn't play. I do play pick 4s every single. I'm sure everybody knows by now. I play it every single weekend. So there's my pick 4 ticket over on the right, and I won't go into any details. I'm going to come on back to you guys. Hold on. And let me bring up our group pick 4 ticket. So here we go.
This one could pay.
I think so.
The right numbers.
Exactly.
This one could pay.
Well, three rules or Imperial Hint's got to get beat.
Yeah.
I mean,
if
the way it's been going, the way our luck is running, it's if it's favorite, we're
Yeah.
If they both win, it's not. I mean, that last race makes it difficult, but I don't see it paying unless the rules or Imperial Hint or both.
Yeah. And there's no guarantee pool, so I don't think there's.
All right.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Here we go. And this is our pick 4. So in leg 1, we've got the 4 and the 10. Let's see. We matched up the 4 was Ray and Joe. You guys both had that one on your top line. Ray, I think the 4 was your top pick. And the 10 was Joe's top pick. And you also matched that up with my top pick. So the 4 and the 10, top line. And there you go. 3 rules is out on our first leg. Second leg, you don't often see the 3 broke guys with this much uniformity, but the 3, the 7, and the 8. Let's see, the 7, that's Ray's top pick. It's also my top pick. The 3, that's Joe's top pick, and the 8 showed up on all 3 of our lines. So that was our top line. So 3, 7, 8. Again, in leg number 3, this is the feature of the Smile Stakes. We just got the 2 and the 3. So you've just got the favorite, and you've got one back up there with Awesome Banner. And then you move into that finale, which is the train wreck coming at us. And let's see, I have the 6, which was Ray's top pick, is in there. I've got the 3, that was Joe's top pick, that's in there. I have the 11, which was my top pick, that's in there. And we also have the 4. Ray, you had the 4 on your top line, and so I went ahead and gave you 2 on this one. So we got the 3, the 4, the 6, and the 11. $24.
3, yep, that's what it would be.
Yeah.
All right. Any objections, additions, subtractions?
Any votes for the 6 in leg 1? Blind Ambition. Just wondering.
Let's see.
Okay, let's start with to me the most important thing is we only add here if we can eliminate somebody else.
Okay.
And I mean singling off Imperial Hint. Because that's the only way we're going to make this ticket manageable. Because if you add the 6 in leg 1, that would make it 3 by 3 by 4, 3 by 3 by 2 by 3 by 3 by 4. So that's 8.
That'd be $36.
36, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's you're adding almost 50% just by adding 1 horse. So we before we do that, do we want a single Imperial Hint?
Well, that's your guys' call because that is my play is the single on Imperial Hint. So you guys have both got the 3 as the backup in that race.
Right. No, I understand.
Right.
So
and I did like race with the 6. I've kind of got a little bit of a cookie sheet on my first line there. I've actually got the 10, the 3, the 6, the 11, and the 4 on that first in that first leg and things like that. So I know I'll be doing some debating in that last leg of my all button. I'll have to shave off a few to get my price back down. But I'm probably going fairly deep in that first leg. I'm going to use 3 rules, but I'm still trying to beat them.
And here's the thing.
Yeah.
Let's just, for argument's sake, I just did the math in my head. If we take out Awesome Banner and we put in a horse in leg 1, we actually cut the ticket from 24 to 18.
Yep.
Because it becomes 3 by 3 by 4 with the single.
If you want like this. So we put in it's the you want the 6 in here, right? Yeah, 6. 4, 6, 10.
Well, but the thing about it is, Ray, we both mentioned the 11 in our analysis more than we did the 6. So that's it's
yeah.
Like,
also, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It's like if we're going to add a horse, I would say let's eliminate. I mean, we could do now what 4 by 4. See now 4 by 3 by 1 by 4 is 24.
This is 24 as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So that would be 24.
So
I would do it that way. Yeah.
I would do that, or I would do it with just the 11 as opposed to the 6 for 18. Because, like I said, the 6 wasn't necessarily on my top line. We both talked about the 11, and Rich even mentioned him briefly.
Yeah.
But
this is my this is my old our old argument, right? Don't split your pleasures.
I don't know.
They run right after each other. In sync.
I don't know that I've ever used that argument, to be honest with you. Because
in tandem.
Because I mean, heck, I split Chad Browns and I split Pletchers, I split Bafferts all the time. Doesn't mean I've been successful. I just do it.
That's usually when you get the nasty text from me when I do that.
Yeah, usually you're the one who gets mad that they split them. I'm like, I've done it for years.
With the red face. The red face emoji.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have, I don't think Rich has ever used the poop emoji, but
Oh,
maybe someday. I'm okay with doing this as opposed to
yeah, yeah. I think
I
it's
don't
more
mind
comfortable.
singling Imperial in. I think he's the best horse
Yeah,
and he should win.
he should win. Yeah, and the main thing is get out his
But
first leg. You know,
again,
too deep or too comfortable. You know.
yeah, again,
Yeah,
he should
that
win.
looks good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with this.
Any
All right.
bombs would add the last leg just for the hell of it. I mean, just to try and you never know.
Well,
I did like
went
that a little bit.
I went 6 deep, so
Yeah.
and here's the thing about that, and being that there are 16 horses in that race,
We don't know
there
who's
have
gonna
to be at
scratch,
least
yeah.
4 scratches.
Yeah.
So I mean, for right now, I would just say let's just leave it the way we had it.
Yeah, you've got the.
And then if any of them come out, we can make this. We can text and go back and forth about who we want to add and who we want. I mean, unfortunately, it sucks for the show. We can't really do much to add for the show. So what we'll have to do is if we do change it, if somebody scratches, and I don't know if the scratches are out yet because now it's about 10 o'clock on the East Coast. So we might want to check to see if there are any scratches like right after the show. But we'll just have to send out tweets. We can send out the ticket or send out the image like Rich, the old image with the new ticket as Rich had on the screen. So it's 4, 6, 10, 11.
Let's see. It is 4, 6, 10, 11 with 3, 7, 8
with 2 with 3, 4, 6, 11.
Yep.
So we'll leave it as is, I guess, for now. And if for whatever reason any of those horses scratch, or if there's any scratches that change the body of the race and make it
Let's see
a bit different, we'll just have to send out pics over social media, Twitter, Facebook, what have you.
Yeah, nothing yet.
Yeah, it should be any minute now, but
yeah.
All right. So as you heard there, judges
go
game
for
two,
that.
you got 4, 6, 10, 11 with 3, 7, 8 with our single, which is 2. And in leg 4, we went 4 deep, 3, 4, 6, 11. $24 overall.
Sounds good.
yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Well, for those of you who are watching, if you enjoyed the show, we will be back next week because, well, that's what the 3 broke guys do. We're going to get together to take a look at another exciting card. And unfortunately, I'm not exactly sure which card it is that we're taking a look at next week. I'm sure we'll get that. Yes.
Sorry, I would assume we're doing the Stars and Stripes weekend at Belmont. That'd just be my guess with the Belmont Oaks and Belmont Derby. I think that's Saturday of next week.
Makes sense to me.
Okay.
See, I didn't even have time to look at the schedule. All right, gentlemen, that's all the time we have for this morning. It's always a pleasure to handicap with the two of you.
Absolutely, always learning, always learning.
For Joe English and Ray Torado, I'm Rich Sharp. Thank you for watching 3 Broke Guys Handicapping. Good luck. Good day.
Good day.
Good day.
Have a good one, guys.